Here's Michael at the foul line. A shot on Elo. Good! The Bulls win! We win!
Don't you open your mouth about the best. Or I'm going to set it for you real quick. LOB.
Listen, we talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice.
Lewis gets it to LeBron for three for the win. Yes! LeBron James at the buzzer.
Pass is caught. Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown! Unbelievable! Vikings win it!
What was your mindset when you stepped in the batter's box?
Go yard. I mean, I'm a pitcher. Why not swing as hard as I can? I got nothing to lose.
It's nothing to man above. Don't put you in situations that you can't handle. Instead of saying, why me? They're saying this is what he want me to do. And, Cleveland! This is for you!
The way we approach the game is the same way we approach life. You do the right thing. You make the right play. Make the right play. And in life, it's the same thing. What do you feel in your heart is the right thing to do? And you do that. You know, it seems so simple, but sometimes the simplest things are the hardest things to do. And I think it's just that.
Welcome to
What?
The game. To me.
What's good, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of What the Game Means to Me. I'm, of course, one half of the pod, Jelani Brown. I have my co-host again with me today, Thaddeus Bell. How you doing today, man?
I'm good, bro. How about yourself?
Not too bad, as good as I can be at the moment. I know we talked a little bit beforehand, but definitely good to get back into it, talk a little bit sports. Of course, we got make up all things. We're gonna crown a champion sometime next week, maybe. Got NBA Finals coming on tonight. Golden State versus the Celtics. I'm gonna hit on that, of course, and then at the end we'll talk a little bit of NFL since we haven't been able to, get into some of our team schedules, some of the bigger games for the year, just get into our football talk as we normally do. But of course, like I said, got to hit on NBA Finals tonight. Game 1 is tonight. Golden State, in Golden State. Celtics will be traveling over. I guess before we even get into it, one, did you think that these two teams would end up being the last two standing, and kind of just like thoughts on just their both teams' journeys and how they got here?
Yeah, man. I was just talking with Niles last week after the first round series and they swept Brooklyn. I placed a bet. I already had a feeling the Warriors were gonna go the way they were trending towards the end of the season without Curry and stuff. But after the Celtics swept the Nets, I put a bet down on them to, meet in the final. So I hit on that. But to speak on their journeys, both been a little different. I see people on certain social media networks and, just in general, like criticizing their journeys. They're saying it was easy, but, injuries happen. It happened last year.
Yeah.
The Warriors, they played the Nuggets with only Jokic. They didn't have Murray. They didn't have Michael Porter Jr. Then the Grizzlies, Ja Morant got hurt, and we saw how the Grizzlies look. Even without Ja Morant, they look like a good team. And I know a lot of people, including myself, thought that, if they're fully healthy, that might have gone 7. Yeah. And then last round, they did what they had to do, but it's just Luka by himself. I think they just had too much firepower, and, if the Mavs aren't hitting threes, they're not really the same team. So the Warriors had, I feel like, a little bit of the easier path. I said after the Milwaukee and Boston series, like whoever came out of that series, I thought was, originally going to win the finals, but the Celtics had to go through the Nets with KD and Kyrie, which is no tough out, and they made KD look like a totally different player the way they blitzed them and did a whole bunch of things defensively. Second round series was a battle. I know it was just people, discredited because it was only Giannis, but this is, two-time MVP, Finals MVP, best player in the league at this moment, and, took them to 7. And with their backs against the wall, they won the game 6 on the road, which is not easy to do, with the season on the line. And then in the last round, they took out the number 1 seed. Yes, they were hampered without their 6th man, and Jimmy Butler was having nagging knee problems some games because game 6 and 7, he was on. But, going through the rough journey they did, beating all the teams that eliminated them the past 3 seasons, just showed, I'm really proud of the Celtics journey because I know halfway through they were having problems where Marcus Smart spoke out talking about he didn't want to just stand in the corner. They needed to move the ball a little more, thinking about breaking up JB and Tatum, and they just, trusting in the system, buying into Udoka's defensive scheme, and just buying in on all ends. And they came together and showed that they could get it done together. And it's good to see two teams that are pretty much the guys they have. Their best players are all throughout the draft. Wiggins got added with the Warriors, and Otto Porter got added on. But Poole, Clay, Draymond, Steph, all those guys, they're homegrown. Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, all those guys. Grant Williams, Tatum, Robert Williams, who wasn't the same player he was before Udoka got here. So, just good to see two quality teams, two quality defensive teams that are all homegrown, making it to the finals. And I can't wait for 9 o'clock, honestly,
Yeah. I definitely think it's going to be a good one as well. Like you said, like, that's the main thing you kind of already hit on and touched on it. Like the Marcus Smart comments, like that middle of the middle of the road, middle of the patch kind of season that they had, or was having. I think they were like 500 at a point. And then once the calendar turned, like that's when their whole games started to turn. They traded away Dennis Schroeder, and then I think they started giving Marcus Smart a little bit more of the ball, some offense opportunities, and then things just started clicking for them. And like you said, like the defense, I forgot what they're either second or third rated defense this year. Like you said, they all just kind of bought in, and everyone became two-way players. Marcus Smart was pretty much that guy. Marcus Smart and Horford, their defensive kind of like guys that they leaned on, but like I said, everybody kind of bought in. Jaylen Brown, of course, he's going to come with some defensive power. Obviously, Jason Tatum, another guy as well. So, like you said, everyone just bought in from top of the roster to the bottom of the roster. But like you said, like just kind of like their journeys as well. I will say, like the Celtics, I feel like did have a pretty tough journey that they had to get to the NBA Finals, because, like you said, everybody beforehand, nobody was even really talking about the Celtics. Like first round, it was all like, have y'all ever seen a 7th seed ever get to the NBA Finals? And all the talk was the Nets and KD and Kyrie, because they were supposedly coming into their own. But it's just like you said, Udoka had a game plan and it worked perfectly, because I think KD maybe had one decent game and then everything else was kind of like just wasn't there. But like you said, like the way they got there, the way they bought in, I hate it because I don't really like the Celtics, and obviously I don't want to see Niles happy, but I hate it in that sense. But I will say, like Jaylen Brown and Tatum, those are two of my favorite up and coming young players. So I'm happy to kind of see them finally get it together. Like you said, I know like at first they were babies, they would always get bounced. Obviously LeBron was there, things would happen, wouldn't sway their way. Brad Stevens just wouldn't be able to get them to the promised land. But this year it was able to put everything together, traded for Derek White, found the right pieces, and found the formula to get here. With Golden State, I believe I had a show with Kenneth at the beginning of the year, and I said that they would probably be like the 3rd or 4th seed, and they had a chance to get to the NBA Finals because everybody was going to be back, healthy. Obviously, we knew Clay wasn't going to be, like fully Clay in the beginning, but he's starting to come on and he's rolling now. Obviously, Steph is Steph. Draymond's playing the way he is, and like you said, you've had big contributions from Wiggins and Otto Porter, like two very, very capable guys, starters on other teams. Be coming in, being just the players that they need them to be, and and it's crazy when you have like Wiggins as your 3rd, 4th option at times. So like they're just super deep. Obviously, just knew that they can get back here if they were just healthy, and I think it's just going to be a clash of the Titans. And it's going to be, I'm hoping, going to 7 games. Everybody, obviously I don't got no dog in this fight. Just want to see a good series. But hoping it goes to at least 6 or 7 games, and we get what is advertised, or what we think is going to be advertised. But I will say, I guess we'll get into game 1 predictions real quick, and then maybe talking some odds for Finals MVP and all that. But game 1, who do you think it goes to? Or we'll kind of go game by game. But game 1, who do you think it goes to?
Tonight I'm going to go with Golden State. Emotions are flying. I'm correct on this. Nobody for the Celtics has played in the finals before. So, the judges are going to be there. They're ready to play. They're ready for the moment, but there's nothing like the finals. They've never been on this stage before. They're in Golden State, in Cali. And, I know everybody's watching the playoffs, but this is the finals. Like, everybody at 9 o'clock is going to be locked into the TV. And, I think that can get to them. As ready as they are for the moment, I think they'll start off slow. And, first Golden State, you can't do that. But I do think that this will be a good game. I think early on Boston they might come out slow. I hope they don't, but they'll settle in towards the mid-second quarter, early third quarter, make it a real good game. But I'm going to go with the Warriors in game one. I think that their firepower, is going to be a little bit too much off the bench at the time. Like, this is two teams that have really deep benches. Well, not really deep benches, but their benches contribute. And I think that the Warriors will just contribute just a little bit more, game one. So I'm going to go with the Warriors.
I was going to go Warriors as well. Like you said, it's Golden State. That crowd's going to be rocking. It's going to be deep. Like you said, it's just going to be – I know, like, no matter what, they're professional athletes. They play basketball. They just say it's a game. But it's like the nerves of playing in your first NBA Finals. I'm pretty sure there's nothing that's going to match that. So like you said, they're probably going to be rattled for a little bit. Or you never know. Maybe they just – like that confidence sways over that they've been playing with. They've had a few games where they've left the door open. Even last year, let Miami come back and possibly could have won that game 7. We should talk about that Jimmy Butler shot. I don't know if you think it was a real quick before I finish. You think it was a good shot or not?
At the moment, yeah. I'm gonna know overall, like at the moment, and then looking back at it, I think it was. If anybody's gonna take that shot, it had to be him, and it was kind of like the KD shot versus the Warriors. Al Horford didn't step up to him, so he was like, I'm feeling it. Well, he wasn't feeling it at that time. He slowed down since the second and third quarter, but I don't think it was a bad shot, a terrible shot.
Yeah,
he could have gone for it too, though. He didn't have to go for the win like that. But
he didn't have to go for the win. I think in the moment I was like, why didn't you attack Horford? Like that could honestly, I was thinking he was about to attack him. It would have been an and one situation because I felt like Horford was just on his heels, so he might have fouled him. But going back, so I was like reverse. Going back, I was like, all right, I could understand the shot. It's like emotions are high. Like you're coming at the court, like like you said, he had slowed down at that point, but he had I think like 2-3 possessions before had like back-to-back buckets, like back-to-back tough layups too. So it's like maybe he was just feeling the adrenaline was rushing, and he was trying to go for the dagger, or not really dagger, but go up by one with a few seconds left. So looking back, I was like, all right, I understand it. But in the moment, I was like, you definitely should have won that. Should have just drove at Horford's. Like he was backing up, he was on his heels. Should have drove at him. Possibly would have had an and one situation, but it's neither here and there. But to finish out my thought about tonight, like I said, I just think the Warriors are probably just going to come out, rolling on all cylinders. They've had, we've seen it work against people's favor though, but they've had a little bit more time to, rest, or get their game plan straightened out, to heal up any neck injuries they may have, and in fact they're a little bit fresher of a team, even though it's been like 4 games since the Celtics have played as well. But I just think, it's just Golden State. Game 1 just seems like Golden State like takes it for some reason, like. Almost not in a blowout fashion, but just like kind of like in a statement type game. But I think game 2, Celtics come back and make it a game. I'm not too sure based off, if they win today or tonight or not. Golden State does, or how they win tonight. I'm gonna say if Boston can come back and possibly tie the series, which I honestly think they could, and go back to Boston 1-1. But I just think, like you said, tonight it just seems more so just Golden State's game to take. Like emotions are just too high right now, in my opinion. But game 2, and then the rest of the series, kind of how do you think it plays out?
All right, so for game 2, I'm gonna go into the series just a little bit while I say that. Game 2, I think the Celtics, tie the series. They're settling, like I said, second, third quarter of game 1, they're gonna settle in. And I know the Warriors, they're undefeated at home this year, but the Celtics have been, one of the best road teams in the playoffs. To make it, they have 7 road wins going into the finals, which is tied for the most. And I think that I think Udoka already he has a game plan, but after seeing how they play it, for the first couple of quarters, he's going to make more adjustments, and they're going to be ready to go because this is pretty much the best defensive team in the league, and they've shown. I know the Warriors have more firepower than the Nets, but they're going to slow Steph Curry down, and I'm pretty sure I don't know if they're going to put Derek White on him, but I'm pretty sure Marcus Smart's going to start on Steph Curry. And I think, Jimmy Butler gave him a little problems because he's a bigger defender, but somebody like Steph, I think he'll be able to tame just a little bit. He's just going to have to stay out of foul trouble. Those silly fouls, him flopping and stuff, they might call the foul. They might not be going for that in the finals. So he's going to have to play under control. And I just think in game 2, all the role players, too, that are going to be nervous are going to step up. The Grant Williams, Al Horford's going to be ready, I think, but Marcus Smart might come out slow. And what? Marcus Smart is on offensively. The Celtics are pretty much unbeatable. So I just think that the Celtics will make the proper adjustments in game 2 and go back to Boston 1-1. And then, from there, it's kind of a toss-up. I have one more question before you go, though.
Yeah, for
Did
sure.
they change the format? It's not 2-3-2 anymore, is it?
Yeah, nah, I think they went back to it, and it's crazy because like I think it's been like that for some years, but in my head it's still like for every year I got to ask myself, is it 2-3-2? Because I always thought that was kind of dumb, but like I think it's been like that for some years now. I think I want to say since like Miami days, where LeBron was in Miami. I think they changed it since then. But every year I ask myself the same thing. I'm like, is it 2-3-2 or is it 2-2-1? Or
Hey,
2-2-1.
no, you're right, bro. You're right. We're tripping because when when they won in 2016 versus the Warriors, they had to win the game 5 on the road.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they changed it a while back. I'm tripping. That's crazy.
Nah, but I'm the same way, bro. I'm like every year I'm just like, did they change it? But then I just remind myself, I'm like, oh yeah, it's been like that for like 7-8 years now. But I don't know. I always thought that was dumb. I think this was a little bit better of a format because like say you do still win the games on the road. Like you got 3 straight games at home. It's tough for anybody to win 3 straight, or it's tough for anybody to beat somebody at home 3 straight games. But it's tough to also beat anybody 3 straight games in a row anyway. But I just always thought that format was dumb. But like you said, yeah, game 2, I think their adjustments are going to be definitely coming from both sides. Regardless, it's going to be interesting to see. Like you said, I'm sure they're going to throw a bunch of people at Steph. Obviously, Marcus Smart probably gets the first hand at it. Then, of course, Derek White's going to get a little bit off the bench. Who knows? They may try to put a longer, bigger body on him. I think Jalen may get a little bit of the action as well. But, like I said, they're just going to throw everybody, all bodies at him. But one thing I did want to ask, of course, and I just thought about it while we was talking, the series changer, who you think specifically on both sides of the ball on each team may be the person to take this series over the top for their team. So, like for me, I guess I'll go first. Like for the Warriors, I honestly think and it's not weird. I'm pretty sure a lot of people can say it, but I think Andrew Wiggins just got to be the difference maker. Like, because last series we saw, he played Luka a lot. He was on Luka a lot. This series, I'm pretty sure they're going to put him on Tatum a good amount. But then that also means they probably put Otto Porter a little bit. I mean, if he plays, I know he's kind of injured backup. But who they're going to kind of put on Jaylen Brown, because that's the other person, obviously the second star on the Celtics, but I'll get to him in a second. But I think Andrew Wiggins has to have great two-way games, amazing two-way games for them to super slow down the Celtics a lot. Like I said, I know he's going to be on Tatum a good amount. They may probably put him on Brown too, whichever one's cooking more. But I think he has to definitely be a difference maker on both sides. Well, even offensively, I think he has to score at least between 16 or 14 to 20 points by game. So even if the first few is 14, that's fine. Because like I said, I think they're going to throw so many bodies at Steph. It's hard to obviously stop Steph. And then Clay's it's coming along a little bit, but the way how great the Celtics play defense, I know they're going to slow both of those guys up at some point. Obviously, Draymond's more so a facilitator. I think Andrew Wiggins just has to be the series changer. I know most people probably point to Poole, him coming off the bench and giving you quick points, quick buckets, but I don't think he's he's played well. He's been playing well this whole season, but I think there's going to be some times where he's showing a little bit of inconsistency, or it's going to be a little bit inconsistent throughout this series. I think Andrew Wiggins just got to be that guy on both sides of the ball for them to take this series over the top. What about you for Golden State?
1,000. That's what I was gonna say. Honestly, Andrew Wiggins. I could go with Jordan Poole maybe. The X factor off the bench, their little spark. But Andrew Wiggins, what he did in the last series, he's gonna have to do this series. Tatum's their best player, in my opinion. He's a top 10 player in the NBA at this moment, and he goes as the Celtics go as he goes. So, just putting that pressure on him, like a great offensive scorer like he is, you're not gonna stop him, but you have to slow him down.
Mm-hmm.
Make him earn them at the free throw line. Foul him when you have to. Just no easy buckets overall. And on the offensive end, Wiggins had his moments where you have those 20-point games.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just going to be key. On both ends, he has to contain Tatum in some way, because thinking about it, Draymond's a good defender, but those little shitty guys like that, he's not going to be able to. He's not going to be able to hang with Tatum for 48 minutes, even though they're not playing 48 minutes. They're not going to be in the court the whole time. But Draymond can't hang with him. Otto Porter, yeah, but Jason Tatum's a really, really good scorer, so he knows how to get to his spots. And Andrew Wiggins is going to have to make it tough picking him up, full court like he was with Luka, and how the Pelicans were doing with CP, just making them conserve energy that he's going to have to use on the defensive end because this series, Tatum's, he's going to obviously he had to play defense last series, but he's going to have to run. He's going to have a lot of movement, a lot of screens, the Warrior sets, a lot of back screens. He's just going to have to be very, very active, and making him struggle just to get past half court on the offensive end is going to take a little bit away, on the defensive end. So I think Andrew Wiggins is very, very vital.
Yeah, for sure. Like Celtics wise, like I don't know. I personally, Tatum had a lot of great games. I personally think Jaylen Brown had more consistent and more like not vital games, but they both were doing what they needed to do, obviously, to get past the Heat. But I don't know. Like I want to say, like it's the easy answer to say Jaylen Brown got to be the difference maker for the Celtics because he's their second star. Like he just has to. Like he's their second star, two-way player as well. More like I said, they're gonna probably throw him on a few different players. Steph, probably sure he'll get a little bit of assignment with Steph. Obviously, Andrew Wiggins, I think he'll probably start out maybe guarding him. And obviously, you have to do a lot of the scoring as well, being that second fiddle. But outside of him, I honestly think probably like. I think it might possibly another series changer, maybe Derek White. Like I said, it's weird. Like he started. I think his minutes started to dwindle a little bit in the Miami series, but obviously this is a key piece off the bench. He gives you a few quick threes, few quick buckets, but also like I said, just another the secondary Marcus Smart. Like he's supposed to be the second fiddle to Marcus Smart. He does the same thing Marcus Smart pretty much does. Like guard their best defender, hit a few timely buckets, and more than likely, if he's coming in, you're probably going to have to get that pull assignment. So, like, if he's guarding pull, if he slows down, basically that second unit, somebody else that can't score in that second unit to where, like, Steph has to probably play more minutes or Clay has to play more minutes, whatever the case may be, and they're not able to find that, those few guys in the second unit for Golden State. I think that's key for, the Celtics and pretty much staying within the game, at least, while they're in Golden State, staying close, staying in arm's reach, and, being able to possibly pull out one of these game one or game two wins. Because if he's able to, like I said, stop pull, like I said, which I already think is kind of going to be a little bit up and down in this series anyway, then that's just another, like I said, it just buys them more time, buys them more minutes, and gets, their guys like Tatum, Brown, Marcus Smart, all those guys, basically keep them in reach to where they're able to, score and keep them in the game and possibly, like I said, still one of these game one or twos. But who do you think is the difference maker for the Celtics?
This might be a common one, but I'm going to go Marcus Smart, for the reasons I did with Andrew Wiggins. He's going to be needed as a two-way player. He has the biggest task of, slowing down the Golden State Warriors' best player and Steph Curry, staying out of foul trouble. And there's a stat out there. I don't know the exact record, but they're undefeated when he scores over 20 points. So, he can't have – I know he had a little rough into Game 7 where he was missing a lot of threes. They were open threes, but just a lot of missed possessions, but him on the offensive end, he's going to have to contribute because Jason Tatum is a great scorer and Jaylen Brown's a great scorer. He had a 40-point game last series, but there's some games where Jaylen Brown will only have 12. Jason Tatum usually gets in the 20s always, but he's going to struggle from the field, and somebody's going to have to pick up the slack, whether it's Derek White or him. And I would say Peyton Pritchard or somebody else on the offensive end, but you never know in the finals. The rotation might shrink a little bit more. You just never know. So he's going to have to step up and be key on both sides. And they show when he scores over 20 points, they're undefeated. So if he can, he doesn't even have to have all 7 games being like this. But I'd say 2 or 3 games at least, where he has outbursts offensively could, be the difference in them losing or winning the game. So I just think obviously defensive player of the year has to step up on the defensive side, but also contribute on the offensive end because he's kind of like, I don't know, I wouldn't say he's their Draymond, but he kind of like, sets the tempo, sets the pace. He's kind of like the heartbeat of their team, the energy guy and stuff like that. So they kind of go as he goes in a way. And I think that he has to, bring that veteran leadership because he's one of the oldest guys out of the pack, really. Al Horford, even though
he's the longest tenured Celtic, I believe.
Exactly. He's been there. He's been there for the full rebuild pretty much. So, the guy that's been there for the longest is going to have to be one of the key contributing factors in them, winning this series. So Marcus Smart's my guy.
Yeah, I definitely think so as well. It's crazy because honestly, we thought he was going to be out, and then comes back from an ankle injury and just looks like he never had an ankle injury. But obviously, like I said, now been playing back the last 2-3 games. Coming into this series, ankle's probably bothering him a little bit, but that's not going to stop him from hitting the court And like you said, you gotta definitely be a difference maker in order for them to have a chance in this series. But real quick before we kind of move on, talk a little bit about NFL teams, NFL schedule, things of that nature. Finals MVP. So I know there's odds. These four guys are probably the bigger names to possibly take it and win it. But who do you got taking the finals MVP? Obviously, most times, the winner of the finals is more than likely going to have the representative of the finals MVP. But I guess who do you think takes it home this year?
One from both teams?
Yeah, just in case. Yeah. Could we not? Yeah.
For me, it's the obvious people, but I'm going to throw one more person in there for the Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Tatum on the Celtics. I think he's the only person that's going to win it. I mean, JB could or Smart, but I think it's Jason Tatum. And Steph, I think he'll get his first on the Warriors side if the Warriors win. But my dark horse, I don't know. This might sound crazy. This is like when we talked about important people, I was like, I 100% agree. You know how Iggy got it for taming LeBron?
Yeah.
So like if Andrew Wiggins can average 20 points, 19, maybe a double-double, something. Nah, he's not a double-double guy, but 20 points, 6 rebounds, a couple steals, stuff like that. And then he holds Tatum to like 21 points per game. Just tames him, helps him have some rough shooting performances like a 6 for 21 or, something like that. Just playing lockdown deep. And he slows them down as the reason why they win some big games. I can see Andrew Wiggins potentially doing it. But that's a long, long shot. That's probably like plus 1,000, plus 2,000 in Vegas right now. So,
yeah. I was gonna say that's kind of, and I think I might have seen on Twitter somebody posed the question, but they just thought it was the dumbest thing. But it is a very big possibility, like you said. Like people have gotten Finals MVPs, like they may not be the best person on the team, or had the like greatest key moment, like maybe hit a big shot. But it's like there's people that have earned Finals MVPs for like. You said doing the underrated things that they didn't think would get them there, like you said, especially like the Iguodala one. That's the number one that people always point to. But I think he does have a chance, and I think the odds were something plus crazy, like plus 10,000 or something like that. I don't know. I might need to go and put a bet in on it, but I think he has a chance at it for sure. But all in all, like if he's been playing the way he's been playing, things go the right way, and they don't find a way to blitz him like they did KD, then I think Steph does find a way to get his first one. Celtics-wise, like I said, it's really just those two guys on the screen. Marcus Smart possibly has a possibility. Like you said, if he's able to offensively come alive as well as, defensively hold Steph to, like you said, maybe 20 a game or even plays on Steph, plays on Clay, just does everything, all the dirty work, and then also, is able to offensively come alive a little bit. Like you said, maybe 5-6 boards, 7-8 assists, something like that. Like pretty much have the same type of series that we're expecting out of Andrew Wiggins. Marcus Smart could probably be that dark horse as well. But all in all, like I said, if the Celtics were able to pull it out, more likely it's probably going to be Jason Tatum, which would probably more likely definitely be well deserved if he's able to, like I said, put a full series together, both sides of the ball, and bring his team to victory. So that's my thoughts as well. But more likely, I guess we can finish off with this. I think it's going to probably be Warriors in 6. I think they end up winning game 1. I think they end up winning game 1 in either game 3 or 4, and then finish out with the last 2 games, 5 and 6. What do you think?
All right. This is weird, but what I want to happen, what I think is going to happen. I want the Celtics to win in 6 because I don't think they'll win a game 7 and go at Golden State. So I want the Celtics to win at 6, but I think the Warriors are going to win at 6 because, the Celtics have had a great season. But, if they cannot do this, I think they'll win. Like these late game collapses and these 20 turnover games that you have versus the Heat, and the Heat were playing around with you, the Warriors aren't going to do that. They're going to – if you turn the ball over 20 times, you're going to get blown out. If you have a 13-point lead with 3 minutes left and you squander that lead, the Heat are one of the worst, offensive teams, especially in the half-court set. The Warriors are one of the best, and they have so much firepower coming from everywhere. And at that time in the game, it's going to be, Poole, Wiggins, Clay, Steph, and probably Draymond or maybe Looney. So they're going to have their death lineup out there, and you just can't play around with your food like that. And that's my fear. The Celtics are a young team, and they tend to do that a lot, and they've got away with it, even in the series versus the Bucks. But with a team like Golden State, they could put up 20 in maybe 4 to 5 minutes. You can't really do that. And that's my fear that they're going to have those games. Like I was so stressed watching those last 3 minutes. Like I was a fan of the Celtics. Like I really thought they were going to blow that lead with the
I was kind of hoping they blew it. I don't know why I was hoping they blew it, just for something to happen.
Taking shots with 19 on the shot clock.
Yeah.
When you're up 10 or 12, like you just can't do that versus Golden State. Every possession matters, and I'm really, really scared that they're going to squander, play like a young team in those moments. But if they don't, they got the defense, they got the stars. I think that if they don't turn over the ball and they completely lock in for the full 48 minutes, I think this will be a great series. So I'm going to go Celtics in 6, but I do think if the Celtics play around like they did with the Heat, the turnover of the ball and not the late game execution that was not really there, I think the Warriors will win in 6. But I got to go with the new kids on the block because they're already, obviously, the people that really know hoops are not going to say Curry's over Bron after this, but I'm not trying to have him have 4 rings and they try my man. So let's go Celtics in 6.
Yeah. Yeah, because you already know that's going to happen. That's what's going to come up. And if he wins that Finals MVP, you already know it's over with. But it's fine with it. I don't even care. Like I said, it's going. I think. I mean, they do have probably a chance to go back and repeat. Like especially if they win again, add just more firepower. He can end with 6-7. If it's all said and done, I don't think he ended with that. I think most stuff would have was 5. But you already know how people are going to be. They're going.
You just never know.
I'm automatically going to be. Once he wins it, or if he wins it, Bron is going to be the first name people be bringing up. So dumb, but it's whatever. But real quick to move over now. Talk our hoops. Gotta talk football as well. I just put the Sunday night schedule up because typically that's when obviously they put marquee games on Sunday night or Monday night. But just looking at some of the key games, big games that might happen, this upcoming year in football. What are some of, I guess, your key matchups or key things that or key games that you're looking at to kind of see?
Looking at starting off, looking at the Sunday night schedule. We got to start off with the kickoff game. A lot of teams have Buffalo, getting over the hump this year and representing the AFC in the Super Bowl. And you're playing the Super Bowl champ. So you got to go with that week 1. I'm not week 1, the kickoff game. Week 1, I do not want to see the Cowboys and Bucks because I think the Cowboys are way worse. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with the week 4 game, the Super Bowl rematch from 2 years ago. It's a lot of good matchups, man. Those are my top 2, though. The Bucks and Chiefs and Bills and Rams. I also want to see the where is it? I was just looking at it. Oh, the week 17, the LA versus LA game, Herbert versus Stafford at the end of the season. They share the same building, so seeing those 2 teams go at it will be a good one as well. But it's a lot of good games. I hate to see the Cowboys on here 3 times, but they're America's team, and Jerry finds his way in prime time every year. But hopefully they can flex them out once they're by week 13, they're 5 and 8.
Yeah, because they're more likely they'll probably they might get flexed out, but you never know. He might just buy the spot to stay in it. But that week 17 was going to be a big, big matchup, especially the way the Chargers, how active they were this offseason, and obviously LA retaining most to all, their superstars to come back and run it back for another one. So I think that's definitely going to be a really, really good one. It sucks that it's all the way week 17. I don't know why they just waited that long to schedule it till then, but especially towards the end of week 17, some of them stars might not even be playing. To both, I won't say the Chargers will have the AFC West locked up. More likely they'll probably need that game maybe. Even with LA, they might need their game. Obviously Russ now being in Denver, who knows how their season's going to turn out. Or sorry, that's AFC West. Still the same thing for the Chargers, but yeah. I don't know why they waited so long. It may be a game where the LA already got everything wrapped up in FC West, and obviously the Chargers may need it, so it may not even be one that we really want to watch. But who knows? But outside of that, I mean, I think week 12 has a possibility to be a decent game. Obviously Green Bay losing Devontae, they're a little bit worse, but the Eagles gaining AJ Brown and having a great draft, in my opinion, makes them a lot better. And who knows? They may be the team to beat in the NFC least now. So I think that one might be a good game, might be a key game as well, and just NFC standings in general. Then outside of that, probably a lot of the AFC North game, well, besides week 11, the week 5 game may be a pretty decent game. Obviously, another receiver shipped and gone from Lamar's wing, but I think they'll fall too far off. I think obviously a lot of the guys that were injured last year, they're going to get back. They should be healthy. They should be ready to go to compete against the AFC winning AFC North champion Bengals, which we didn't think we'd be seeing for in such a short amount of time after like a year or two gap. But I think those two games will be pretty good, or those few games I hit on would be pretty good. But definitely more to come. Monday, I didn't hit on Monday, didn't hit on Thursday night games. But was there any other game that you had circled that you probably looking forward to matchup wise?
Nah, not really. I mean, most of them are good games, but those are the three intriguing matchups I had.
Mm-hmm. And first we'll go, or not first. Oh yeah, first. First we're gonna hit on your team schedule. We'll look at your team schedule, kind of maybe go by game, maybe give a few predictions, overall predictions, and kind of how you think the season may play out.
All right. So before I do this, there's a little bit of bias in here, but I'm also going to be realistic. And before the season, I feel good about my team, so the record might be a little bit higher than expected. But starting off week 1, new team, new head coach, new offensive scheme. I think we're going to start out strong in Washington, where they have a lot of questions. Solid defense, but they didn't really show up last year. Questions with Carson Wentz, and they don't know what they really have offensively yet. We're drafting Dotson, but they do have McLaurin and Gibson and Curtis Samuel. But we'll see. I'm going to go 1-0 there. Week 2, we have Indy. For some reason, they can't beat us on the road, so I'm going to take us there too. But I don't feel strongly about that. They can have that taste of the week 18 game in their mouth, so that wouldn't be the best. And then week 3, we're gonna take our first L. The Chargers are a new team. They added J.C. Jackson along with Khalil Mack, so that defense is already going to be humming. They already had Derwin and Bosa, so it's going to get rough. New Philly. A lot of people have them winning the NFC East. I still don't completely believe in Jalen Hurts, but they've added some weapons, and it's just tough to win in Philly overall. So I'm gonna have us going 2-2 there. I'm gonna have us beating the Texans, going 3-2, then losing to Indy again. We're gonna split 3-3. At home, we're gonna smack the Giants. I can't wait for that week because I'm on President's Day the entire week. So I'll go 4-3 there.
So that one's at home?
Yeah, we're at home versus the Giants. Hopefully they can pull up. In London the next week, I know that's a home away from home, but Russ is playing for the Broncos now, so that's a different team. I'm gonna have us going 4-4 there. Raiders at home. We're at home, but the Raiders were a playoff team last year, and they added some players, Chandler Jones and Devontae Adams. So I'm going to have us going, what does that make us, 4-5? Then we play KC, not much to be said, 4-6. That's an Arrowhead, so that might get ugly. Then we have our bye, and then we run into Harbaugh. So, this will all change. Like, at this moment, I'm talking about the Jaguars that I think we're going to get. But if, they pull up like 2017 and 2018 and completely shock me, they could win some of these games. But so far, we are 3-3, 4-3, 4-6. 4-7, we're going to lose to the Ravens. No doubt about that. 5-7, we're going to beat the Lions. 5-8, we're going to lose to the Titans because they have our number. This Cowboys game depends on how the season's looking, but I'm going to be nice for now. We're at home, but I think we're going to be 5-9. I think we're going to lose to them. Thursday night, we beat the Jets on the road, so 6-9. We sweep the Texans, 7-9, and then I think we're going to, close out the season on a little hot streak, so 8-9. That was going to be the record I predicted, but I just never know what I'm going to get out of my team. We could completely be dead, but I don't think anything could get worse than last year. I think we're in a new direction. We spent a lot of money on players that are already proven in the league instead of getting unproven players like with draft picks and stuff. So I think our team will be a little bit better. And I just honestly, I'm not an unrealistic fan. I want us to make the playoffs, but at the end of the day, I just want us to compete and just look like a formidable football team. Like some weeks we go out there, it looks like it's varsity versus JV, or it's like Norcross versus Meadow Creek in high school. So, I just want our team to come out there and compete.
2011, 12, 13. 14.
Yeah, but 8-9 is what I'm going with, bro. 8-9.
That's not too bad, honestly. Like, that's an improvement from last year, obviously. 8-9 and missing the playoffs, right?
Yeah, man. AFC is rough. We're not making the playoffs. That AFC West could send 4. And there's an extra spot, so they could send all 4 if needed.
That's crazy. That'd be wild. First time ever. Well, I mean, we did, like I said, last year. We saw 3 coming out of the NFC West, so who knows? The AFC West could definitely do it as well. But moving on, I guess we'll talk a little bit about my Falcons. You can try to be nice. I'll be a realist as well, because I'm not too sure what to expect this year. We signed in any and every wide receiver off of the street, though. I will say that. Like, we didn't sign, like, last few Bleacher reports I got is like 7, 8, 9 different type names of receivers. Like, we just signed anybody. Like Tate, Hodges. I don't know who we signed yesterday. We signed somebody yesterday. I don't think that's played in like 2 years. I forgot who it was, and he was like hurt all last year. I think he played with Philly. But we signed all receivers, drafting all receivers. So hopefully, that brings a little bit of something. They're all like 6'3" and above, so maybe they're going to come in and do something. Just jump balls down the field. If we can get the ball down there, that's going to be our offense. Jump balls. That's it. But for week 1 versus the Saints, I don't know. I think I'm going to say a loss, though. Like, I feel like they're going to fight, though. I think they're going to fight. This one's at home. We already have a terrible home record because they want to build the stadium on top of all the churches and stuff. So we probably never really going to win at home like that. So we'll take the L the first game. That's on my birthday, too. That's wild. So we're going to take an L first game on my birthday. But they're going to compete. So I say they lose by like 3 or 4. Second game, Rams away. Definitely taking the L on that one. Seahawks, I'm going to give us the dub. So I mean, it's going to be 2 rebuilding teams going at it. So it should be a good game. So we're 1-2 at that point. We're going to see Deshaun Watson because we lost down the sweepstakes. We're going to take an L on that one as well. Actually, hold on. Is Deshaun going to be able to play?
It's home. He's probably not going to be able to play. He's probably suspended the first 4 games.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I think he's going to be suspended the first 4 games. I had to count. So,
which would suck, though, because it's in Atlanta, and I know he probably wants to play in Atlanta at least once in his career.
Yeah. So, yeah. We might. I mean, they have a good defense. They have a great running game. But if they ain't got no quarterback, that's the most important position, as you know. So, I don't know. I think we'll compete. We'll probably get our first home win and one of our only home wins because our home schedule is crazy. Buccaneers, L. So 2-4 at that point? Yeah. 49ers, another L, 2-5. Bengals, L, 2-6. Panthers, we always split. And I guess we'll take the one at home. Plus, they don't really know what they're doing either, to be honest. So, but obviously, they're still young. They got a good defense. But obviously, they're stuck with Sam Darnold. So, who knows? We won last year. We can win another one this year. So, 3-6 at that point, I want to say. Yeah, 3-6. Chargers, L, 3-7. Play the Panthers again. Like I said, we'll split. So, I guess I'll take the loss. We'll take the loss at their place. 3-8. Bears, another year. Justin Fields has to grow. I don't know. Outside of that, I don't know really what they did this offseason either. I don't think they did much to get better. So I think we can maybe snag a win. It is in November, and it's probably going to be cold there, but, they're football players. They're professionals. They should be able to tough it out. So hopefully the elements don't sway us too much. But I'll say we'll take a win. It's at 4-8 or 4-9. I think it's 4-8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 4-8. Commanders. We need some payback from, was it last year we squandered the lead or was it the year before that? I think it was last year.
Heineke,
it was last year. Yeah, Heineke came in. What the hell? What's wrong with this? That's at Washington, though. But again, like you said, Carson Wentz don't really have much answers, outside of the few offensive weapons that they do have. But, I mean, they did beat us last year with Heineke, so I can't really say much. I guess we'll probably – at this point, we never know. Like you said, we may have a surprising season. Maybe things got turned around. Maybe things are going our way. We're, coming in a little bit different of a team, at least fighting and competing in games. So I'm going to say we win that one. Like, that's going to be the optimistic fan of me. We'll win that one. The Steelers game, I think we should win, but I don't think we will.
That's not even a home game, bro. Y'all at home. That's not a home game.
Yeah, they're going to be traveling heavy. So, yeah, I think that one's an L as well. We're 5-11 at this point. 5-11. No, not 5-11. That's too much. 5-10 at this point. No, shit. What am I talking about? 5-9 at this point. So we got 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 5-9 at this point. Saints. I want to say a win, but they're not going to be good. Like, they're not going to be good.
We'll talk about that later. I definitely disagree on that.
But I don't. We'll probably compete though. They're not going to be good. But I'll say an L as well. I feel like we should definitely split. I feel like we're splitting with everybody but the Bucks, just like we had the last few years. But I'll say an L. Ravens L. Cardinals L. Bucks L. So damn, we go on a 4-game losing streak to end the year off. So that's crazy. I don't know about that, but who knows? I guess we'll go 5-12. 5-12 to end off the year, but I just don't see us being that much worse than the Jaguars. I can't say 5-12. That's wild. But we have a hard schedule, in my opinion. Like, this is kind of tough.
And for our schedule, I was being too optimistic with our hard schedule. So
because we play AFC North and NFC North.
Who, us or y'all?
No, us. We play AFC. We play the AFC North and we play the NFC North. Yeah. So we play NFC North and AFC North, and both those are two of the tougher.
Wait, no.
Probably the better.
NFC West. Y'all got NFC West.
That's what I meant to say. NFC West. I don't know why I say NFC North. Yeah, NFC West and AFC North. So two of the better and harder divisions in football. So yeah, I can see us going 5-12 at best. But like you said before, it's just my feeling now. You never know. Like, Mariota may come in doing Mariota type things, balling out. You know, Drake London might do what he does. Kyle Pitts might have a great sophomore year. Defense might pick it up some way somehow. You never know. So, but we are missing the playoffs, and we're probably not going to be over 500. So I'll go with that for sure. But I just can't say that we're going to be worse than the Jaguars. I can't say that. No matter how much money y'all spent, that's just tough for me to say. So I'm gonna have to refigure out these wins and losses, and we're gonna have to circle back to this closer to August.
Hey man, look, we'll see. You know, I think we're in two totally different phases. Like, we're rebuilding, but we already have like the pieces to rebuild. Like, y'all still need to tank this year and then add some more pieces. I think I really don't think we have all the really bad spots we had, we've addressed. I don't know if they're going to be able to play, but, you know, we'll see. As of now, like, our depth chart is set. So, you know, we'll see.
Mo said Falcons go 3-14. Y'all really be trying this. What you think where do you think the Cowboys going to go?
We got to look at their schedule, bro, but I don't want to go too far to say they're going to not win a division because I don't believe in Jalen Hurts, but the Cowboys they lost people who didn't add.
Yeah, they lost heavy.
You know, they gave away Amari Cooper for a 5th and a 6th, which is crazy. That's like, I don't know. They lost Randy Gregory. They lost Collins, even though he was hurt. I don't know. And they're America's team. I just don't like the love they get, bro. Like, I don't want to be a Cowboys hater, but they just get too much love to be so mediocre, bro. Like, since I've been born, they haven't won anything. They always talk about Amy and Troy. Like, bro, I wasn't even thought about yet. That was 95, bro. I was born in 1997. But
it's crazy.
I don't know. We'll see what the Cowboys do. I want to go to that game, though, since it's at the crib and they play.
Oh, yeah, y'all do play them, don't y'all?
Yeah.
Jacksonville. Yeah. That might be a possible one to go to. Who knows? The ticket price is high in Jacksonville.
Boy, when I first got to Charleston Southern, like the year I had to sit out for football, I went to 3 games that year. And I was in the lower bowl, like it was in the corner of the end zone, but I was in the lower bowl, like row like 14. So I had great seats, and it was like $45, $50, bro.
$45.
Yeah, it's not like that no more. Like if I try to sit at the 40-yard line in the lower bowl, it's gonna be like $130 at least. But man, I got on Ticketmaster and I found I'm like, Dad, like you can drive down from Atlanta, but I'm gonna go regardless. Like I'm only 3 hours from Jacksonville now, so yeah. Regardless, if the game's good enough, my dad wants to go. We'll make that happen. So I definitely got to go to some. I haven't been to any in this would be, if I don't go to any this year, this will be my 3rd year because, the pandemic and then last season was still a little sketchy. So it's been a minute.
Yeah, that's true. I got to go back up to Mercedes-Benz and watch us take an L as well. Last time I went, AJ Green caught the game-winning touchdown against us.
I remember that game too.
And Isaiah Oliver giving up touchdowns and shit when they had tried to make him an outside corner. knowing he can't play that. But yeah, that's the last one I think I went to. But yeah, Mo, we're not going 3-14. We will suck though. I'll give you that. We will miss the playoffs again. I will give you that. But 3-14, the stretch, like that's Detroit Lions territory. Like I won't say we that bad. We can't go that far. But all in all, got a few more things we'll hit on before we head out of here. But definitely got to pay our respects to Marion Barber. I guess speaking about the Cowboys, we have to pay our respects to Marion Barber. Unfortunately, found um, passed and deceased. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago in his apartment home? Probably one of the greatest 7-yard runs we've ever seen ever. I think it was against Seattle. I want to say.
I think it was the Pats.
Pats. Okay, yeah, it was Pats. You're right. Against the Pats, but definitely one of the greater running backs. Didn't play for them that long. I think maybe 3 or 4 seasons, if that. Yeah, something like that. 3 or 4 seasons, if that. But definitely one of my favorites while he was playing with them. Just a hard-nosed runner, heavy hitter, and a great back overall. Or overall with his time there. Unfortunately, things didn't go his way throughout the rest of his career. But definitely got to pay some respects to Marion Barber. Any thoughts that you had of him?
Oh yeah, man. Sad to see it. It seems like we're losing like a lot of I know we call ourselves young, but 38 is young. You still got a lot of life to live, and it's sad to see it. Demaryius Thomas, we've just had a lot of people pass away, and during his time, he had a 3-year stretch where he had like 1,000 all-purpose yards. He was like you said, hard-nosed running back. Played the game the right way. Was very physical in the pass pro game too as well. Protected his quarterback when needed to, and just played the game the right way. A good overall back, a solid dude that was committed to football, and just you hate to see the stuff that I know Des Bryant made a post, but like after these guys get done with the NFL, it's like people stop. Like you don't know what their family's like or if they even have family members around, but it's like the NFL doesn't really care about you. They don't check in on their players. And like the way he played, I don't know what's happened to him, but could have been something potentially with his brain or him like going into a deep depression because of, certain things. They just don't check on their guys after they're done with the league, after they're done, getting their service out of them. So it's sad to see, and I just, hopefully most guys out of the league, once they're out of the league and, they weren't the best players, like you don't know what his problem was financially, if he got in some gambling. There's just a lot of stuff, and I think there should be – I know they're grown men, but you just got to –
Yeah, there got to be some type of – they may have, they may not, but
– know what they're going through. And once we figure out the cause of death, obviously we'll know more, but it's a lot of instances where guys – I know Des Bryant said like a year ago, they posted his highlights, and he was like, I wish I could enjoy these, but he was like, my brother's down bad right now. So you don't know what he was going through that led to this death and this stuff. So RIP to Marion Barber and his family. And just hopefully, we can – the NFL in general just could do a better job of looking out for their players and checking on them. I'm just saying that to say, Vincent Jackson too, like he had alcohol.
That's what I was about to say. I was thinking about that.
He died from drinking too much alcohol, so you just gotta check on these guys and see what they're going through.
Exactly. Like they ain't got like some type of not a retention program, but some type of program, like you said, like anybody just call in, check in, like even like like once a year type retreats or something like to kind of bring them together. Like I'm sure like I don't know if they do or not, but like have free like. Not free healthcare, but like basically be able to go like see a therapist, like any of that type of stuff. Like they may have it in place, they may not, but either way, they gotta do like you said, it's a better job overall, like keeping their guys like in good spirits and just in good mental form. Like mental health is like you said important. Obviously, all the studies that they've done on the brain and how football affects it and the way that their mood and how they play and their life afterwards. Like you said, there's a lot of young people like leaving the game and they were finding something out. Like it was somebody else not too long ago. Like I don't think it was mental health related, but I think they might have gotten maybe shot or killed or something like that. And that's probably like that's still part of like what you're saying. Like you never know like how their life is outside of football. And like you said, they may be going through some financial issues to where like maybe caught up with the wrong people or in the wrong space. Like there's other things like that. Like you said, just gotta do a better job of just being there for guys that like obviously you're helping fund these billion-dollar ran teams and organization and just unit of the NFL as they are. So like I said, it's just a sad thing to see, but rest in peace to him. in his time here on Earth, and hopefully, like I said, his family's able to process and you know just be in good spirits and celebrate his life versus death. So another person, of course, got hit on, and something that I know you're excited about. Obviously, a new Madden edition coming out because I know you play competitively. Um, and it was only right to, of course, put him on the cover. But John Madden has the All Madden edition. What you think about it? And you know, you think they, I guess, did right by the cover? Does it look nice? What you think of it?
I mean, I like it. It was the only option at this time. The guy that is literally the game's name after him. He passed away. He was a legend on and off the field in the broadcast booth and in the coaching room. So they had to. And I like that. I know you're not really into it how you used to be, but like they just put out a little trailer for it and they talked about some of the new stuff they're doing. So they're trying to move more and more towards real football, which I like. And I feel like it creates, a skill gap because some of these guys just play Madden because they like football and some of these guys really know football. So it's going to be fun. Looking forward to the game coming out in 2.5 months. And I like that they honored him this way. I'm still not going to buy the All Madden edition. As much as I love Madden,
How much the All Madden edition be now? Like,
I don't know.
They like the all whatever used to be like 100, but
like 99, bro. Like I'm just gonna pay 60 for the regular game, and play the day it comes out. Like I don't even need to get it early because I'm like in league and stuff, so I'm gonna be playing it for at least like 7 to 8 months. I'm playing until like May, so I'm good. I'm good on the All Madden edition. But shout out to them for honoring John Madden.
Yeah, I think it's nice too. Like even like the little cartoon way. I like it as well, but. I might get back into it. I gotta get a new system because my PlayStation 4 was all messed up. I was in the back of my car too. But I know Devin just got he got an Xbox. He went the other way with it. So
yeah, he's got tired of trying to fight for a PS5. It's still not easy to get one, which is crazy. Exactly. Came out over a year
after what the year? I was like 2 years ago.
And I just got mine I got mine a year. I've had it for a year, but I got it in May. Like it came out in November and I started trying in March, but I still had to try for like 6 weeks, and I had to meet a dude at the Duluth police station.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
I slept. I think it was one time I could have got it on PlayStation or through PlayStation or whatever, since I was a member. I paid for the membership or whatever each year, which I probably need to end up canceling. I ain't even playing it, but they sent something to me to be able to get it, but I totally slept on it and forgot to do it. But I don't know which way I'm gonna go. I'm gonna know if I'm gonna stay with Xbox or if I'm gonna go ahead and get the PlayStation 5. But regardless, I think I'm gonna try to get back into it because it looks like it's gonna be a pretty good game anyway. But outside of that, that wraps it up. Just before, there's one last thing that we gotta hit on, or should hit on, or can hit on. I know I got one for the day. But what really grinds your gears, or what's been really grinding your gears? I know we haven't done this in a while, but anything that you got to get off your chest.
The final starts tonight. So just the comparing of athletes, I think that we should just appreciate some of these athletes more and just always trying to compare them and bring them down. The Steph and LeBron comparisons, complaining about the path that both teams had. Like we could have done that with the Suns last year. I really truly believe after watching them, if AD didn't get hurt, they would have beat them. They wouldn't be there. So I think we should just appreciate the matchup we have. It's a little different. I know the Warriors are a familiar face, but they've been out of it for the past couple of years, and the Celtics are new. So, let's just appreciate what's going on right now. Enjoy the finals because you're not going to be able to complain about basketball in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, basketball will be done until October. So, just appreciate what we got going on right now. Stop all the comparing. And LeBron is going to be better than Steph, even if he averages 40 and wins Finals MVP. So, let's get that straight and stop disrespecting Brian. And, that's about it for me.
Mine's actually got to do KD, which we probably could have had a little segment on the show about it. I don't know if you've been seeing the tweets and stuff that he's been saying to the Draymond and just in general. He had one or a few days ago with Draymond, and today, the one he said today actually was pretty funny when he was talking to Stephen A. Smith. He used part of his little clip or whatever,
we don't care.
We don't care, to talk back about him. But it's just, I don't know, I just feel like I love KD. I love the player that he is. I love, obviously one of the greatest scorers in the game ever. But I feel like he just been on Twitter a little bit too much. He's doing a little too much talking. I understand having your own opinion. Obviously, that's what Twitter's for. Being able to speak your mind and say what you think. But it's kind of like he's almost trying to discredit other people's thoughts in the same space and form. I see like when I guess when you speak about Draymond or whatever about like what he said about like it was more so geared towards stopping Steph versus stopping him. Um, I think like certain coaches like even agreed and said this. Like, I think Ty Lue was one of the ones. Which I mean, he said like of course he said from his point of view it's false, but you know watching with the naked eye, like obviously you can see like most times people are game planning for Steph. Yes, like obviously they got a game plan for KD as well, but it's like trying to pick the lesser of two poisons. But you know I understand I understand where KD was coming from. I understand where Draymond was coming from, but it's like just trying to discredit Draymond and say like, basically like it's just straight up like not right, like that it's just false, like in general, like 100% false. Which, no, two things can be true at once. Like yes, like more likely, like that finals they more all those finals really their game plan to try to stop Steph. Obviously you can have a game plan for KD, but he's 7 foot trying to shooting over you, like you know it's not really geared to try to stop you offensively. And then, like I said, just with the Stephen A stuff, it's funny whenever they go back and forth though. So, um,
KD's
he
really
just
starting not to like him though. I can tell.
yeah, I was gonna say he's really starting not to like him though. Like they've had specials where they've talked to each other. Like Stephen A, I think has interviewed him and his mom. Like
I like
they've
that
been
anymore.
in the same circle, but I know like with Katie is really like it's like more so he feels like he probably got to do it versus like he wanted to do it. But I just feel like
Real quick though, I think that I think it's changed though. Like I think when he pulled up on First Take or was on like a
mhm,
podcast or something, I think it was a little different. But now I think that he's just really getting tired of him. I don't know why he
private, yeah,
put Shannon in there though. Like sometimes he might have
yeah,
some bad takes related to basketball, but for the most part, I think he's pretty straight with
hmm
his basketball takes. His
yeah.
LeBron
I
love
think
is a little bit too much, but he
yeah,
keeps it real with his basketball takes. I think so.
exactly,
Skip though, nah, I don't know, he's annoying now. But yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I hate. I don't even watch. I don't watch it mainly because of Skip. I've never liked Skip even since he was on First Take. But I don't know. I just think KD got to kind of stay off Twitter a little bit. Like I've been seeing his name a lot on my timeline. He responded to everybody, regular people. You know, like I said, Stephen A. Just everybody. But I think he got to since he got caught with the burner accounts and stuff. So, but I just think I'm like KD. I get it. Like you don't really got to prove yourself or try to discredit other people. Like just I know it's open. Him and Kyrie. Like I understand where they be coming from. Kyrie more so obviously doesn't do it because he don't be on social media like that. But he just gotta chill out a little bit. Let us enjoy yourself, enjoy the NBA Finals. Understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, in the same breath, people can have a little bit of an opinion as well.
Oh,
But
that's facts.
yeah, like I guess he just it just more so feels like he just be kind of telling like they just straight up like wrong, and I'm just like I get where you coming from, but just let it breathe. You're fine, everything's straight. Like
I
stop
will say this.
using your Twitter fingers.
I will say this. Like everybody's supposed to have an opinion, but at times, like, all right, I played in college, but I didn't make it to the league. I'm not KD. If I was KD, I feel like I'd be more like him.
No,
But it's
yeah,
hard. Sometimes I know Twitter is an open space, but it's hard. Like people
to
that
let
didn't
stuff
play
fly and not
football,
say something to it. Yeah,
like
more
people
mine
that
was
didn't
more
play
so.
football,
Yeah,
yeah, they didn't
yeah,
play football or basketball. They might have played
yeah.
it for a little bit, but they didn't even play in high school. They didn't play in college,
Hmm.
and they just be talking to these pros and people that did it like they don't know what
Hmm.
they're talking about. But it's just frustrating. Like if I made it to the league as a quarterback and I was KD stature, like I'm going to the Hall of Fame, I don't know. I wouldn't have a burner, but I have my days where I have to reply and let
Let
these folks
somebody. Yeah,
know. But yeah, he
yeah,
does need to limit it a little bit. Like
yeah. I think
I
with
like that he's
more so
I
with
like
the
that
Draymond one, that's what I was referring to. The Stephen A one was funny to me. Like that whole interaction was funny. That's
yeah, because
cool.
Stephen A was like, we're not going anywhere to media, and then him as a
Yeah,
basketball
that
dude,
was
like,
just stupid. I was just like,
we ain't
yeah,
listening to
like
y'all.
you don't care. Like they really don't care. They're not really taking your opinion. Like they're the ones going out in the court. He said if anything, like I said that's why I was like the one with him and Draymond. I'm like, all right, like he ain't just straight up wrong. Like you got to kind of see from his point of view. Like he ain't just 100% false. Like it's not just 100% false. But the Stephen A stuff was kind of funny. But I'm just like he just been on Twitter a little bit too much. Like, don't let the people get to you like this, KD. Like, don't be as sensitive as they try. Because you already know he got the sensitive tag. You can't continue to feed into what people think you are, which is, like I said, sensitive. But all in all, I know he's gonna do him. He's gonna do what he does. And like I said, I understand. Like you said, you can't just let people talk crazy. Like you said with the Stephen A stuff, that's why that one was funny. But be understanding. Have a I guess just have a open mind about other people's thoughts and opinions. But I will say too, Draymond do kind of be like riding Steph a little bit too much too. So I guess I kind of understand.
I get it, but KD's like, KD really wants to say something that I've really,
Yeah, it do be feeling like that. He wants to say something more than what he do, because like even that in like like Kevin Durant and Draymond, it's like they say that they cool and stuff, but I feel like they not tight either. Like,
I think they're cool, but they're not as tight as they used to be. And then like with KD, it's like all these. I know he wants to be like, like Steph's great, but he's not me. I'm better than him.
Mm-hmm.
Without me, they're not winning those. But like Steph's not saying anything. He don't be talking. He don't want to burn a bridge. Like that's his friend.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to. I feel like I know he thinks he's better than him, and he means more to Golden State than people think. But he doesn't want to burn the bridge, and he tries to.
He's just trying to keep it cool and to kind of
like Steph don't bother nobody. Steph don't bother nobody, bro. He's not.
Steph chilling. He got his TV show. He doing his own little stuff on the side. Get his rings. Got his kids. Like he don't want to be bothered with that.
He's not in the meeting. He's not like Draymond has a whole podcast talking about players and stuff. It's not. I understand, Katie. He just has you got to realize who you are as a person. Most of these people, like, I know they be messing with you and talking mess, but they look up to you. You got to realize not that you're above them, but in the area, the space y'all talking about, basketball, sports, you're above them. So you don't even have to stoop down to their level.
And respond to just everybody and everything. Like,
but I know it's hard, though. I promise you, bro. If I had me a couple rings and I'm Katie and, like, y'all trying to tell me I'm trash or Steph, like, the Warriors really was good without you, bro. Like, I might have to fire back once or twice.
Yeah. Like, as I added 2 more rings in there.
32, 33 now, so you got to.
Yeah, like 33.
You're not 25 anymore, bro. You got to tighten up a little bit.
Yeah, just a bit. But that's what I thought. Because I thought one part was funny, and the other part I'm just like, all right, chill, Katie. Like, no, it's all right. You're straight. But other than that, man, I think we're going to hit on pretty much everything that we wanted to hit on today. Any last words, any last thoughts?
Man, good to be back. Hopefully we can enjoy a really, really good game one and just a really good series. And summertime's here. Football will be here before we know it. So it's a good time of the year.
Exactly. Like you said, it's June. Crazy. It's half the year gone. I feel like it's been moving for sure. But like you said, spring football, well, we already got, that's already done with. But like you said, about another 2 months or OTAs and all that stuff will be coming up soon. More football news, I'm sure, will be coming out. Obviously, college football right around the corner as well. And then more things to come. Like I said, I guess we'll enjoy the summertime. Got baseball back. So, and my team's actually pretty good. So maybe we'll have a little bit of fun this summer. Hoping to go maybe to a Braves game when they play the Mets. I got to see what their schedule looks like. But all in all, like I said, great show, great day. Hopefully have a great game tonight. Looking forward to more shows. Hopefully, like I said, we'll probably get back on throughout the series. Try to maybe do another one, in the coming week or so. And appreciate everybody for tuning in. Appreciate everybody for commenting. Again, Mo, he said that their quarterback is better. I won't say by much, but like I said, we'll see when that time comes, week 1 in September. But other than that, appreciate everybody for tuning in. Thanks for watching. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram at What the Game Means to Me, or Twitter at WTG MTM Podcast, Instagram What the Game Means to Me, and Facebook at What the Game Means to Me as well. So appreciate everybody for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys later and next time. Have a good one.
Catch y'all later.